a night out person, definitely. She had a boyfriend at Oswego, SUNY Oswego, so she was pretty much confined to quarters most of the week. And then she would see him on weekends. This is kind of important. She would see him on weekends, and some things happened along the way, and she reported that he was not being faithful. She was given advice by a number of different people. If he's not being true to you, find somebody else, kind of drop him, And I think the major reason she was out on the town that particular night, Friday evening, was in response to that advice given by a number of people. And I think I was probably one of the people that suggested the same thing. Go find yourself somebody who really cares and is going to treat you well. In any case, she got together a couple of her girlfriends in the dorm, and they headed downtown for an evening out. And Kathy had hardly ever gone out, seriously. She certainly wasn't a drinker. There were a couple of pubs in the village at that time. They had a couple of drinks here and there. The girls were all together. On the way back from the pub, they kind of split up a little bit into 2 or 3 groups. Kathy got a little bit further ahead than the other gals did. She was kind of anxious, I believe, to get back to the campus. She crossed North Grand Street, coming up Main Street, going west toward the campus. And that was the last anyone saw of her. Devastating. The fact that she disappeared to begin with, nothing like that had happened on this campus. And I've been around the campus since 1964. And this was in the early 70s. I mean, nothing had happened like that before. So it was devastating to the whole community. It was like headlines, college student disappears. Cannot be found. The state police, the National Guard, I mean, everybody and their brother was called out to see if they could figure out where she was location-wise. Nobody did. How could something like this happen when there's so many people downtown? I mean, it's kind of like, how could that even happen that nobody actually saw? It's kind of weird, because I know where there's a car buried, a yellow Volkswagen, buried up on a mountain in Summit. And in the back of my mind, of course, goes this little thing, gee, I wonder if that was the yellow Volkswagen that the guy was in that picked up Kathy and took her up on the Cross Hill. Yeah? I think that way, and I think that's as good a theory as anything else. That's what it was, because I don't have an explanation. I would say she was an educated gal. She was, personality-wise, was fun to be around. I think she developed into being an incredibly good listener. Perhaps too good a listener, because she listened to all of her friends when they all said go downtown. Maybe that was to a fault. Never knowing the answer to what happened to Kathy Kolodjis is not an answer that is acceptable to me.